Hi everybody. I'm here on a Monday for this is my 13-week pregnancy update. 13 weeks. I think I skipped week 12, but I was on my honeymoon, I was getting married, all that good stuff. Married. Um, anyway, so I skipped over that week. But I did make a honeymoon, excuse me. Whew. Very burpy. Not sure why. I didn't eat anything. Anyway, I did make an update while on my honeymoon, so that kind of, I guess, took the place of my 12-week. I'm thinking I might actually switch over to make my videos now on Mondays because that's kind of when my weeks change over. So as of today, I'm 13 weeks and 1 day, which means I am in my second trimester. I'm very excited about that. Now, I have a few other exciting things to talk about. First of all, the fruit of the week is a lemon. This is the size of my baby from its head to its little bottom. Its little legs dangle off, I think, from there. But this week we are a lemon. That's a pretty good size. And to be honest, I think I've actually started feeling some movement this week. I think I've felt it the last couple of weeks, but yeah, it's really early, so I wasn't really saying anything about it because people probably think I was crazy, but I really remember what that feeling was like, and they're like it feels like it's just squirming around in there. Like, it could be gas pains, but I really know what gas pains feel like, so it's not quite like that, and it's always in the same spot, really down low, below my belly button, and it's always when I'm laying on my back, either getting ready to go to sleep or right after I wake up. So I'm really still and I'm kind of concentrating on it, and I can totally feel the baby moving around. And I believe it because we've seen it in ultrasound a couple times, and that baby is a mover and a shaker. So I would not be surprised if I'm actually feeling the movement. I was going to do something cool because I have all these apps on my phone that talk about what is developing, the size of the baby, and that kind of thing. Thought that I would read one of these, so I'm getting texts here. Thought that I would read the description of what's happening with the baby this week. Okay, week 13. And it says, this is a big week for your baby. At the second trimester, your placenta is developed to provide your baby with oxygen, nutrients, and waste disposal. It also secretes the hormones progesterone and estrogen, which help keep your pregnancy steady. At my ultrasound today, she was telling me that my placenta looks like it's located in the very front of my uterus, which isn't necessarily any huge piece of information. It's just something interesting to know. So there you go. Your baby is also developing significantly. One thing that is apparent is the slowdown in the growth of your baby's head in comparison to the rest of the body. Your baby's face is also starting to look more human, and its eyes are beginning to move closer together, and the ears are moving to their normal positions. Internally, your baby's intestines are migrating from the umbilical cord into the abdomen, and the intestines are also developing as they form villi, which help in digestion. The liver also begins to secrete bile, and the pancreas begins to secrete insulin. Your baby is also starting to practice swallowing as it takes in amniotic fluid and passes it out as urine. At this point, your baby may also be able to put a thumb in his or her mouth, although the sucking muscles are not fully developed yet. All 20 teeth have also formed and are waiting from under the gums. Your baby can also smile, and their vocal cords are rapidly developing. The external genitalia have also developed enough that you would be able to distinguish between male and female if you looked at the baby through an ultrasound. Yeah, we had a screening ultrasound today, and we tried to get her to at least make it a guess at what the gender was, and she wouldn't do it. So I think it's still just a little early, and they're afraid to be wrong. So anyway, your baby weighs between 13 and 20 grams, which is half to 3/4 of an ounce, and is approximately 2.5 to 3 inches long. Lemon. The placenta and your baby also weigh the same now. Your baby's vital systems are all fully developed and will now concentrate on growing at rates up to 1 inch per week. That's a lot of growing. Now I'm going to see if I can switch to my other app here that has a really cool picture, and I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I'm going to try to show you this actual picture don't know if you can see that. I think all you see is my reflection in the background, but anyway, it's really cool. It has pictures of the developmental stages. So now I will show you, we have this screening today. It was supposed to be the nuchal translucency test, which is where they check the amount of fluid in the back of the baby's neck. I think it's kind of in the spinal column, and it helps to determine your chances of the baby having Down syndrome or other chromosomal defects. And so what they do is they do this ultrasound and they have to measure it. The baby would not cooperate. It was totally in the wrong position. It was all curled up and sleeping, and she kept poking it, and it would move and like kick and stuff, but it was not like moving its little neck. It was like all curled up and comfy. She tried for like an hour. She used 3 different ultrasound machines. She did an internal ultrasound, an external one, and then she used another one that was even more like high def, I guess, and still could not get the measurements she needed. But as a bonus, we got to look at the baby a lot. So she took measurements of everything else. She took a heart rate. The baby's heart rate is 151, which, if you go by all of the wives' tales, they say that anything over 140 beats a minute indicates girl, and anything under 140 beats a minute indicates boy. I don't know. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I really just have a feeling it's a girl, and I was looking so hard while she was doing the ultrasound to see if I could see any private parts, and I didn't see any little nubs or anything, so I don't know. I just really think it's a girl. But here, let me show you the pictures. This is the best one. It's like a profile picture, and you can see the head and the face, little body, little legs kind of up here. It's a pretty good picture. The middle one is kind of a little less clear, but the same thing. And this one is like baby Skeletor. This is like a front-on view of the head and the body, and it totally looks like a skeleton. Happy Halloween coming up, but anyway, that's the best one. And looking at these pictures, I totally think it's going to have Josh's nose, because it's got this pointy little nose, and mine kind of turns up and his kind of turns down a little bit, and it looks to me like this nose is turning down at the very end. I don't know. Anyway, kind of cute. So I was trying to look on here, and she didn't give the exact measurements of the baby on these pictures, so I don't know exactly. I'm just going with the whole lemon thing, which is what one of my apps says, that the baby's the size of a lemon for all of week 13, and then it graduates up to the next fruit. I don't know what the next fruit is yet. So that is that. So, you know, long story short, we had this ultrasound. We didn't actually get what we came for, which was to find our risk of Down syndrome. But the doctor did come in after the ultrasound technician had looked over, you know, everything, gotten the pictures. The doctor looked them over and came in and said that, you know, like looking at the baby, she said, honestly, just by looking, you can tell if there is going to be a problem. And she said everything looks really normal. She's not allowed to like say that it's normal, because they have to have the exact measurements to prove that, just for, you know, like lawsuit purposes and that kind of thing. But she said if it were her, she would have peace of mind, because everything looks normal, everything looks fine. So on the flip side of that, I saved myself a bunch of blood work, because they didn't have to do all the blood work if they didn't get the correlating measurements. So we're just going with that. We're not rescheduling the appointment to try and get the measurements again. They measured other things, and everything looks perfectly healthy and perfectly normal at this point. So I am happy with that. I'm satisfied, and I agree, you know, that while it wouldn't be ideal, Down syndrome would not be the worst thing that could happen to my child. I mean, there's far worse issues that it could have, and so I'm not as concerned about that, especially since she said that everything looks really normal, and the chances of something coming out abnormal after seeing an ultrasound like that that looks visually normal is very, very rare, and she's never seen it happen. So I'm happy with that. I'm taking her word for it. What else? Oh, another good piece of news was that, and the other purpose for this ultrasound was because my doctor had a suspicion that I had what's called a bicornate uterus, which is when your uterus is like, oh, how do you do that? Heart-shaped. And it's got this little septum that kind of comes down and divides it in half. And there's varying degrees of bicoronate uteruses. Some are, you know, a little more open, and some are almost completely closed off into two. And she thought that I might have that because she saw this little pocket of fluid up towards the top of my uterus when we did one of my really early ultrasounds. But because she's not a perinatologist like specialist, she couldn't definitively say. So she wanted to have these people look, and she said that they would know for sure if it was one way or another. So I was really nervous to find out and wait to see what was going on with that, because that can kind of determine whether or not I'm able to carry the baby to full term, if maybe that was the reason that I gave birth to my first son prematurely. Yeah, so everything hinged on that. So the great news is they looked at my uterus, and the doctor who analyzed the pictures said that everything looks totally normal. She didn't see any problems, didn't see any misshape abnormalities, nothing. Everything's fine. My uterus is normal. So I don't know what that was. My original doctor said that it could have been anything from just a pocket of fluid to some type of cyst that could just be reabsorbed to, I mean, anything. There's all kinds of things that would cause that. So yeah, so that was really good news. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. And so the chances of me being able to carry this baby to full term are very good now that I know that my uterus is normal. If anything, she's going to have me check in with a high-risk specialist and maybe talk about doing progesterone treatments in my 3rd trimester, just to make sure that I don't go into early labor again, since we don't really know what triggered it the first time. All right, I've rambled on long enough. That's about it. So I'm going to go, and I will try and do another update next week. It won't be as exciting because I don't have any appointments between now and then. I believe my next appointment is October 11th. Not positive on that one, but I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm going to try and stand up and give you a belly shot. I don't know if I can even do it here, but can't even see. I'm wearing maternity jeans already. Can you see? Yeah, let me tilt the camera down a little bit. Okay. So I'm definitely thicker. Here's me sucking it in. So I think that there's definitely something down there. And I'm wearing maternity jeans already only because, you know, when you lose a lot of weight, you get rid of all your fat clothes and you're squeezing into the smallest size possible. Well, those don't fit anymore, obviously. So I had some maternity jeans given to me, so that's what I'm wearing because they're really comfy. I don't think I look all that pregnant yet, but I do have a little bump. So, okay, I'm at 13 minutes. I'm going to go. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.